here in the Vail Valley, we have so many amazing nonprofits helping all sorts of people. And one of those nonprofits is Roundup River Ranch. Just an amazing nonprofit doing amazing work. And joining us now is Sarah Johnson from Roundup River Ranch and Dr. Paige Braxton from Vail Health. How are we doing, ladies?
Wonderful.
Great.
So Roundup River Ranch, it's not that hard to describe, but Sarah, how do you describe Roundup River Ranch?
Yeah, the core of what we do is a summer camp for children with life-altering diagnoses and their families. So family camp and regular camp where parents drop off their kids for 5 nights. That's the core. That's kind of the foundation. And then we have outreach online, tons of other programming throughout the year. Yeah,
that's kind of the website definition. How I like to describe is these kids would never have an opportunity to have a camp experience because of their illnesses. And Roundup River Ranch has doctors and medical staff and everything these kids and their families need to get out and experience what normal children kind of experience or children without illnesses get to experience. So life-changing for these kids, right?
100%.
And now we're expanding a little bit to other children, right? So that's where Dr. Braxton jumps in here, right? So what are we doing this summer?
Yeah, I can start, and then I'll hand it over. But historically, we haven't been able to serve Eagle County as much as we'd like, because if you have a life-altering diagnosis, you probably don't live at 8,000 feet. You're closer to your specialist. But we've looked as a board, as medical advisory committee over the last 2 years to say behavioral health, mental health is impacting our community, as we all know, in such incredibly powerful ways, and how can we be a part of that? So our board, our medical advisory committee, approved to recognize select behavioral health diagnoses as primary qualifying diagnoses to come to camp.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
And so is that mostly local or is that all over?
So both. We have one session that's really dedicated to Eagle County. So it's a 3-night camp. Paige can talk about the qualifying diagnoses. And then in one of our traditional sessions, we've also added behavioral health diagnoses. So kids have 2 shots. That general session can be from our wider population, sort of the region that we pull from. But one session is really specifically for Eagle County.
And we're talking the same camp experience, right? So it's like the zip lines, the horses, the arts and crafts, right? It's all that fun stuff for these guys to experience, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How important is something like that for kids?
You know, it's, I think, one of the most important things. In this valley, we have so many nonprofits that have been dedicated to behavioral health, and we've made huge, huge impacts on the behavioral health crisis. But the reason this camp is so important is it provides that normalizing experience. And I think one of the most important things is it gives kids community with other families and children that can't just sympathize, they empathize. And you get to see the resilience in others and in yourself in a way that you can't in a therapy room or at school. It's really remarkable.
Yeah, just invaluable for both the children and the parents too, right? Because the parents, it's an experience for them, right? And they get to bond with other people that are experiencing a similar thing. Where did this idea come from? How did you guys link up? It seems like a perfect partnership, but how did it kind of come to be?
Yeah, I'll start. The Serious Fun Network that Roundup is a part of, there's 2 camps that are about, maybe 18 months ahead of us that have been exploring this. I went a couple years ago to the camp in Ohio for their mental health week, is what they called it. And it's the same deliverables that we think about for our traditional camps. So as Paige mentioned, it's connection, it's community. So we've been following best practices from those other camps, the beauty of being a part of a network. And then it was just really right in our faces knowing what we face here in Eagle County, and reached out to Paige and a few folks at Vail Health. We all got together, March 2 years ago, and said, what could this be? And your team was incredibly responsive.
It's been a wonderful partnership because of what Roundup River Ranch offers. And Vail Health Behavioral Health, especially our outpatient clinics, we're seeing so many kids with depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, all things that we can do a great job treating within the walls of the clinical space, but Roundup pushes it one step further.
Yeah, and can you talk just a little bit about kind of that outdoors, right? Like it's just getting them outside and kind of changing that scenery for them, but what's the importance of having a campus like Roundup River Ranch is right on the river there with all these outdoor experiences, but kind of that outdoor part of the mental health conundrum.
One of the things when we talk about child and adolescent behavioral health, we talk a lot about cognitive behavioral therapy and psychiatric medication, but we often leave out play. And play is an important piece for normal development, but it's especially important for young people with life-altering diagnoses. And being in a place like Roundup River Ranch, it's just so beautiful and there's so much to do that it makes play really easy.
Yeah, and Sarah, I'm sure you've seen too, some of these kids, like this changes their outlook on their diagnosis, right? What is the impact that Roundup River Ranch has on these kids?
Just the ability to know they can do things they never dreamed of. So Paul Newman, when he started these camps, it's like kids just need a place to put their diagnosis in the back seat and raise a little hell, and that's what we see.
Yeah.
You know, we see kids with oxygen going up the climbing wall. Like, we're doing
Do
this.
it.
We're doing this.
Yeah.
And for kids and their families to say like, oh wow, we can do these things. We can make friends. We can eat meals with friends and not have that stress of it being unsafe. So we see huge breakthroughs with kids that their confidence just shoots through the roof.
Yeah, it's so cool. So cool to see. People can get involved if they want, right? I mean, obviously there's staffing at Roundup. There's counselors working with these kids. There's medical staff helping out. But how could people get involved if they wanted to help?
Yeah, huge need right now. We're still ramping up with summer counselors. So counselors, typically college age, what you think of. A lot of pre-med, pre-nursing, those sorts of students are really drawn to the opportunity. So still need some positions there, but volunteers, we could not do camp. I think each session, our volunteers make up like $160,000 worth of labor that we save.
Wow.
So come for, we've got some day volunteer opportunities. They're in the kitchen. It's actually a really fun place to be.
Oh, yeah.
You could do the whole thing and come out for 5 nights and stay in the cabin or stay in the staff lodge with kids. There's a variety, but volunteering is just a huge way to make it work. Also, as you mentioned, the medical side, so we need nurses, we need doctors, we need pharmacists, the crew that comes to make sure it's safe for our campers. Vail Health has stepped up big in that way for the behavioral health camps.
Yeah. Who else do we need to shout out here? Because I know there's a lot of people and organizations that help out in this, but anyone else we need to thank here?
Yeah, you want to hit on like Your Hope Center, other partners?
Yeah, Your Hope Center, who's been an invaluable partner. They run the school-based therapy service as well as the crisis services. Colorado Mountain Medical, those primary care and pediatric physicians have been huge in helping with referrals. And a plug for any of our local young people that have behavioral health diagnoses. Applications are open. Apply, and someone from my team will reach out and support to help you get to camp.
Love that. If people are interested, how do they sign up? Do they call, email, website? What's the easiest way to get in touch with Roundup River Ranch?
Website is the best place to get started. The application is to be honest, kind of long, but we have navigators that help through. We want to make sure that kids are coming to camp, that we can provide an unbelievable experience for them. So we ask a lot of questions, but we've got folks to help with that process. But go to the website first. If you get stuck, for sure, pick up the phone. Happy to help in any way.
Yeah, these smiling faces are just, we're looking at the website right now. It is just so cool to see these kids out there having the time of their life. So cool to see. Sarah, Paige, anything else I should have asked you guys? Anything else people should know either about this partnership or Vail Health or Roundup River Ranch?
I mean, I think we're just grateful for the support of the community because without donor dollars, without volunteers, this wouldn't happen.
Yep, no child or family ever pays a penny. So we're extending that to the behavioral health camps as well.
Yeah, and that's another huge part of it. These families are going through so much, and they get to come out to our lovely community and have some fun free of charge there. That's so cool. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us, and Paige, thanks so much for joining us. And thank you guys for all that you're doing in the community as well. It's really kind of a shining light in our community, giving back. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for the chance.
Yeah, and we will be back with more of the show, but check these guys out and consider signing up for one of these camps if you would like.